You say you're for it, but you won't help?
You don't have any single politician who's able to help you now until you can change the dynamic in Sacramento itself. So
He's the first.
You've got to work with the students on 22 other campuses of CSU. You've got to organize. You've got to get people from whatever party elected who will support more funding from higher education. That is what it's about.
Thank you, first of all, for coming down here. I think it's really awesome to hear these type of conversations with all of us. Thank you. I graduated from this school about 2.5 years ago, and let me tell you, things don't look that different as far as the problems that you guys are facing. You said a lot of constructive things about what you think we should do, but honestly, when I got here, fees were going up. I graduated, fees are still going up. They're going up indefinitely, and there doesn't seem to be any solution offered from any politician that I've ever researched or anyone in this school as far as the administration. So my question to you, seeing as how your way of doing things has not worked for us, it has failed us to write letters, to vote differently, to do more within the political system that exists. Will you take a verbal and written vow then to support the Occupy movement here and abroad, to say that we have a right to do it our way, to organize our way, to do what we're doing?
Will you support an occupation on this campus? If you support it on this campus, will you also support it abroad? Our way of not writing letters. I mean, you've heard several people express that.
Microphone!
Seeing as the traditional political system has failed us, and you even admit not being able to influence that, will you support alternative means of refunding higher education and supporting our mutual goals?
Because I happen to believe fundamentally in the political process, and I believe we've got to work the political process. We've got to turn it around to serve our needs. Simply coming up with an alternative is not really it. That's my view.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So everything you've been saying. Does have points here and there. And you talk about us, our numbers. But obviously we don't have a voice. Higher up in the ladder. But you. Our leader, our support. You have a voice. With our numbers. And your voices. Don't you think it'd be more powerful? To put them together? So what I'm saying, because you have been very unclear. Are you willing to 100% back us up and support us?
Are you willing to 100% back us up and support us?
No. I'm trying to tell you over and over again that I don't believe necessarily in everything that you're asking for. And fundamental to that disagreement is that I do not believe cutting the resource base for the institution is the way to deal with the problem. So what you're asking me to do is to support an elimination of the fee increase that was voted on by the Board of Trustees. And I do not consider that to be the answer to the problem that we have. So no, I'm not going to support you on that.
Cut thousands of students instead. Cut the students instead, right?
What do you support from our cause?
That wasn't what I was asking either.
Whoever we vote for, they all lie.
You say you took a 10% over on the
Back to the process.
Mr. President, so you say you support us, you say you were against 209, but I find it quite the contradiction that you won't sign the petition.
He doesn't support
Another thing I find quite contradicting is you tell us
go out to write letters and talk to the politicians. Then you say that they failed us, that we need to do something else, that we need to gather the students. Well, what do you think we're doing? Gathering the students. Another thing, over the summer, Jerry Brown urged the CSU Board of Trustees to not raise their salaries. And what happened over the summer? Their salaries were raised. San Diego State's incoming president got $100,000 more than the outgoing president. And we got a 12% fee raise. So my question is, why won't you sign the petition if you truly agree with us and you truly are with us?
Board of Trustees brought 2 new presidents in at significantly higher salaries than any of the other presidents in the system, claiming they needed to do it in order to get high quality. They did it in one case on the same day that they raised student fees. Not particularly good timing. All right?
Insult.
I am not. There are 21 presidents in the system who did not get salary increases. Most of the thousands of administrators throughout the system did not get salary increases, unlike the University of California that does it all the time. Administrators within the system are not getting salary increases, they're not getting more compensation. So that, if you ask me, I don't go around just signing petitions, all right? Somebody writes a petition, you write a petition, you want my signature on it. That's not how I operate. Look, we can stand, if this is what you want to make the second issue, that I sign whatever it is you put in front of me. No, I won't. I will continue to work in every way possible to get more financial support for this institution, and I urge you to join me in that. But that doesn't get done by my
every day
side.
until you figure it
A
out.
political system that doesn't work.
So help us address it.
How do you know the political system doesn't work?
Because you look at it!
All right,
Fucking working!
all right. How many of you voted in this last election?
Donated!
Yeah.
Top-down approach is over. You're done. The whole system, top-down, is done. 300 grand a year.
Top-down approach.
Suck the stick!
Can everybody hear me? Yes. All right. Well, I have one suggestion. It may be a pie in the sky type of thing, but maybe because I heard a lot from the teachers about the restrictions because of the contracts, maybe we should lift the no strike clause in the CFO contract. And the same thing is like, what I hear a lot is like passing the buck. And I think because passing the buck, we believe in the system. Because when it comes down to it, the system doesn't work. It's full of crap. And the damn thing is, it's full of crap. There's a lot of damn people in the system that don't do the job, that always pass the buck, that always say there's somebody been higher than me. And once you get to the top, they say, go to the people. And when it comes down to it, I don't see any cure to this ailment. I think that we really need to understand more about how the system really doesn't work. That should grow in us a disbelief in the system.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, any time there's somebody to be held responsible for something, they just pass the buck. They just say, hey, it's not my fault. I tried to do it hard.
President Corrigan.
just want to say something. There seems to be a disconnect with some of the things you say. And historically in this nation, laws have been changed because people came out in the street to change those laws, to make those laws. The Civil Rights Movement was one of them. I feel like this is a movement for education. And personally, I'm a working class student who's come here who is an EOP student. I have lots of loans, I have lots of debt, and the system has actually been an obstacle for me most of my life to obtain an education. But at this point in my life, I feel the need to stand up with my fellow students on this campus because I've lobbied my congressman and I don't see any change. And I feel like we need to take it to the streets.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
We are workers.
We are workers.
We are students.
We are students.
We don't have time.
We don't have time
to fight corruption.
to fight corruption
Within the arena.
within the arena
Of corruption.
of corruption.
What we do have.
What we do have
Are bodies.
are bodies
And conviction.
and conviction
To stop.
to stop
The flow.
the flow
Of profits.
of profits.
This university.
This university
Is a profit-driven.
is a profit-driven
Organization.
organization.
So we.
To
fight. Disrupt.
disrupt
The flow of profit.
the flow of profit.
Invest in the students, not Monsanto! Can everybody hear me? Yes. Okay, so I wanted to know, there's been a lot of time and money spent on this library that is still in the process of building, yet you're still cutting classes and raising education while the library is still being built. Now, who thought of building the library and putting money into it while cutting classes? It doesn't make any sense to me that I would use that library if my classes are cut. How are you prioritizing the money that I put into this school?
You know, if you're going to be part of a movement like this, you have a real obligation to learn the facts and to research the issues and understand. There are two sources of money that come from the state to the university, and they're separate. One is capital outlay money. Capital outlay money comes as a result of taxpayers every several years voting in favor of building projects that will be paid for out of their tax money. The courses that are taught on this campus, the salaries that are in fact paid on this campus, come from a general revenue budget which is separate from the building budget. That has not taken a single dollar away from the classes, the supported campuses on campus. If we had not put that money into the library, by the way, that doesn't even call into account the fact that we needed a new library, okay? It has 40% more space for students in that building, just one example. The money would have gone some to another university or another entity for a building. It's not taking away